right, here we go. Well, good afternoon, everybody. 12:19 p.m. This is Dave with Nomadic e-biking adventures. And today is December 9th, 2025. And it's a beautiful day. We had a cold front go through by yesterday. Dropped the temperature. It was pretty cool last night. It got down to 55. It's I think 67 or 68, and that's about it for today. The sun is partly sunny, so it's not too bad. I was kind of contemplating whether to wear a light jacket, but I think the wind is light enough that it's not going to be that big of a deal. We're in Edgewater, Florida, and we're heading out to the city of Edgewater, kind of go through there, and then we're going to hook up with the Central Florida Rail Trail. So again, we're going to be paralleling the railroad tracks here. A very busy set of railroad. Oh, there aren't busy too many trains today. Looks like you got a maintenance crew working on tracks. So I did hear some train traffic this morning. They've been going like almost every 30 minutes, seems like. Now you can see them. Looks like they're redoing the ties or something. Florida East Coast Railway. It's kind of what that, I think the name of that trail was. Florida East Coast Railway, Rail Trail. So it looks like they got concrete railroad ties. And it looks like they're working on the stonework around it and reattaching the railroad tie. Looks like they're shining up the rails. I think this is all one rail, seamless rail. So we're kind of going into the wind today. I think it's a northeast wind now. It was northwest yesterday. The front's going by, and now it's down to a northeast wind. Local fire station and training facility. Looks like temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s for the next 10 days. Today's Tuesday, And we leave next Monday, heading to the villages for 5 days. Bike shop again. Well, I got my new brake pads delivered from Amazon, so I think I may switch those out today. Screen up here says I'm doing 17. Bike says actually 16.8, so is going on. Well, I'm still setting up house sittings, working on next August. Had a couple interviews with homeowners in the Arizona area. Looks like I'll be out there about a month or so on a couple house sits. I've had one offer 2 different sits in August to me, for August and early September. They're like 5 days a piece, and I just got done with a interview for another person in Arizona. Their house sit is 15 days. So I'd really like to do the 15-day house sit versus 2 shorter house sits. And we're just going to go on the bike lane here. This is Indian River Boulevard. With the traffic light here, we'll keep on going straight like we did last time. Well, this is US 1 that we're coming up to. the light? Probably not. Oh, yellow light. Well, I got my oil changed and replaced my wiper blades, I think for the first time since I've had that car. So, which is good because it was raining the past couple days. A little over 97,500 on the odometer for the 2019 Malibu. Email sent to me from Trusted House Sitters, which is the company I use to book house sits. They're based out of the UK, and I believe, what I'm understanding, they were recently bought out by another company, and that company has done some changes to the Trusted House Sitters sitter and homeowners guide. They basically sent an email saying we are changing the pricing. I was under the standard plan. Standard plan is a $150 a year charge, which I don't have a problem. It's worked out great. And then they do have a premium charge, which right now is running $299 a month, a year, and it gives you a little bit of perks. You can, which I don't use. Basically, it's like extra insurance, information. It's just a lot of extra money for nothing for me. They have instituted a $12 are they calling it? Confirmation fee, sitter's fee, and a homeowner's fee. That when you accept a house sit, it's not confirmed until you pay a $12 fee. Well, if you're not house sitting that much, that's not that big of a deal. But if you are house sitting, like I am full-time, geez, I do maybe about 10 house sits, so 120 house sits a year. That's some major money. Plus the homeowner needs to do that too, which I think is kind of a rip-off. And in addition to that, they have changed their terms and conditions. Now, when I went to sign in yesterday, after that, they had you they had the terms and conditions popped up, and you either accept it or you log out. Which, you know, I don't have a problem with that, but just above that was supposed to be a link that explained the terms and conditions. You could click it and you could read it, and you want to accept it or, you know, reject it. But it was not clickable. So they basically locked you out until you accepted the terms and conditions, which you could not read. So the Facebook page basically blew up, you know, and there's a lot of people that are you know, giving their opinion and leaving and canceling and whatnot. Now supposedly this new deal will not go into effect for me until my yearly renewal, which is in May, I believe they said. So I'll be good until May, but then May I need to make a decision whether to stay with the $149 a year and pay the $12 per sit, or, which I think is going to be better for me, upgrade to the $299 a year, and then your house sits. There is no sitting fee, no $12 fee. It's basically waived on. So I did some figuring out. I would have to do at least 13 house sits, I believe it came out to be, in order for this new rate to pay for itself. So I went and just accepted the terms and conditions, you know, and it's a bunch of once I accepted it, I went in and found the terms and conditions page, and it literally took me 6 minutes to scroll down all the terms and conditions. 6 minutes of just, you know, flicking your finger down and scrolling it down to get to the end. 6 minutes, and that's not even reading it. So there's there's more conditions in there than there is buying a house. So anyway, let me see here, which one I gotta turn on here. I think it's this next one. That one or the next one? I think it's the next one. I'm trying to read my map while I'm driving. So yeah, it's one of those corporate takeovers, kind of like the Cracker Barrel deal. I think there's going to be a lot of backlash, especially if the homeowners have to pay this too, unless they go on the premium plan. So if they decide not to accept it, they're going to cancel their policy, which means there's going to be fewer and fewer house hits. Somebody calculated that currently this company is making about $260 million a year, and this new sitting fee would basically double their earnings. It would double their earnings. And you can tell, I mean, they need to do some major work on their app. It's very confusing. So yeah, there's a lot of people looking for alternative sites. And like I say, I've been a member of Trusted House Sitters for over 5 years. I have had no issues with them. I've only had one where I basically had to cancel this house sit, and the people that I canceled on complained, and Trusted House Sitters contacted me and asked me, hey, what's going on? I'm going to go on the sidewalk this time. Now we're heading over to the Central Florida rail trail, about a mile this way. We got kind of a rail yard right there. Oh yeah. God, the Spanish moss is growing on the fence. see what we got going here. Okay, this way. Alright, so here's the start of the rail trail. Now we're going to have the wind to our back. Now the sun feels good. Kind of warms you up a little bit. Yesterday, the dog I'm house sitting is 19 years old. It's kind of let you know last time it was 19 years old is 133 years old in human years. And in the morning I lifted her up to go outside and brought her back in to have her breakfast. And I think she was still asleep. She was kind of, you know, wiggling back and forth, teetering back and forth, and her little dog dish was there in front of her, and she fell right into it face first. And then she jumped out of that, and her right paw hit her morning breakfast that I had in a little bowl. She flipped that up the air and flipped it upside down and full of food, and dumped that all out. Poor little thing. So I just fed her just before I left, and she zonked out on one of the rugs. So I still hear the little clinking on the back tire, and I don't know still don't know what's causing that. Now I'm kind of thinking it might have something to do with the brake pad on the back. Now there's a little pin that goes in there, but I've looked at that before and it didn't seem like it was rubbing up against anything. take a look at it this afternoon when I switch out the brake pads. It's not too bad out here. I think though if it's going to stick around in the same temperature range, I may end up putting a light jacket on. Today the wind isn't that bad. I think the feels like it's only like a degree less. Busy crossing again. I got 2 batteries I'm going to retire on my GoPro. One is the same battery was only lasting like 10 minutes instead of like an hour. So that one's fully degradable now. And then I got another one that the pull tab to pull it out of the GoPro had broke. It still comes out easily, but I'm just going to retire that one. I just sold my old GoPro 10s cameras to a guy with 3 of them and a charging case. So I just sold those. So I'll probably put these on Marketplace and see what we get out of them. The 2 batteries were 20 bucks, 10 bucks a piece. Well, back to my trail camera at the Sunny Hill restoration area. I have seen the 3 together, 3 black bears together, and this past Saturday was the start of the black bear hunting season. It's the first time they've had the black bear hunting season in over a decade. So there's a lot of uproar from people. There's actually there's only like 720 permits that were given out, and one of these animal loving foundations is offering to pay $2,000 for that permit, to send the permit in so they don't register any black bear. I don't know what the cost was to apply for a permit, but somebody's paying $2,000. So far I've heard that they've bought over 150 of them. Now, I don't know what the charge is. But I think my black bears, as long as they stay in the general area, the Sunny Hills restoration area does not allow hunting, period. But they're only a mile across the county road is the what is it, Osceola National Forest, where there is hunting. So hope those bears figure out where they're supposed to stay so that they don't disappear. And way up ahead is going to be the pedestrian bridge going over what is it, Highway 442 or the Indian River Boulevard. And then once we get to the other side, we'll hook back underneath it and we'll take the bike trail back to the house. 40 minutes and 10.7 miles so far. The GoPro battery should be expiring pretty soon. See this person walking down there. They walk down to the bottom here and then they turn them back and walking back over that. And just another half mile. We kept on going straight as the Cow Creek trailhead. We're gonna hang a left here. Take this back underneath the It's actually a pretty good picture today. I wonder if I can get a looks pretty good. I'll get that taken. I'm going to take a picture with an iPhone just so it's a better quality. All right, 43 minutes. There's a nice little trail here for about 2 miles, and then it goes back onto the highway bike lane. see, the other thing, when I took my car in for oil change, I asked them if they replaced the tire pressure sensors. And I had looked on my car, and I think I got 2 of them that are out now. Alright, like I was saying, when I had an oil change, I went to Walmart and I asked them if they replaced those tire pressure sensors, and they said, yeah, we do. I said, okay, well, great. How much are they? He says, $30 a piece. Says, okay, but we're all sold out. We got a box of them in last week, and they're all gone. So I know eventually all 4 of them are gonna die. 2 of them are dead now. So that's $60. $120 to replace all the sensors. I guess they can put a tester on there and see how much life is left on them all. So that's the only, the car's been great. I mean, that's the only thing that's been an issue lately is the tire pressure sensors. And like I mentioned before, it's just, they're only supposed to last like 7 years. And I don't know how the sound's going to be on my GoPro on the helmet. With the wind seems to be picking up a little bit. But the now it's back on the roadway. I did get another dead cat. It's been working great for me. I don't have to get all those fancy DJI mics and worry about that. It's been pretty good. Yeah, I'll definitely have to, if it stays in this temperature range and especially the wind picks up, there's a little bit of a wind chill to it. My nose is starting to run a little bit. got a guy from where I live. Oh, he's got to be maybe about 10 houses down. He's got a big Christmas decoration, and he's got all Christmas music blaring. Not 24 hours, but Christmas not too far away, 16 days. I think Christmas Day, I think I'm going to be in Mount Dora again. We just got finished in Mount Dora probably about a couple weeks ago now. That's where we did a Christmas bike ride at night. On the one bar. Well, that's good. Well, I wanted to see what we're going to get out of this. It's not really a great day for a range test. Now let's see if we make it back. It wasn't, we had a lot of headwind today. Sitting at 14.5 miles. If we get 5 miles on a bar, I think it's like 3.5 miles back to the house from here. Be close. Sound system that he's got in that car probably costs more than his car. Yeah, that wind has definitely picked up since we started. Alright guys, well that's going to wrap it up for this one. Appreciate you coming along for the ride today, and we'll catch you again next time. Until then, adios.